Devin Larratt is now the heavyweight champion of East versus West and really the entire world. We talked about Devin's next move, and it seems like he is going to stay in the heavyweights with the possibility of jumping up into the supers to pull someone like Gennady should the opportunity arise. However, what happens with Prudnik? Quick recap, we saw Prudnik sweep Matt Mask, sweep Artem Morozov, and sweep Todd Hutchings, but then get swept by Devin Larratt, which puts him in this really weird spot of being a step above the rest of the pack, but a step below the absolute top of the pack. In this video, we're going to take a look at the heavyweight talent pool and see what makes sense for Prudnik's next move. Let's get into it.
Take it back, take it!
Okay, I don't want to go all Todd Hutchings here, but it is important that we understand the transitive property because I'm going to inappropriately use it in the arm wrestling world. Okay, here it is in a way that schools ought to teach it. If Levon beats Devin and Devin beats a 10-year-old child, we don't have to see Levon versus that 10-year-old child because we know Levon beats Devin and Devin beat the 10-year-old child. It's a mystery why Harvard turned down my mathematics professor application. Now, as promised, let's inappropriately use that property in the arm wrestling world. I'm looking at the In the Hook North American rankings for the heavyweight division as of a little over a month ago, and at number 1 we have Marcio Barboza. Okay, stay with me now. We recently saw Barboza lose to Irakli, and we saw Irakli lose to Todd Hutchings at East vs West 3. And of course at East vs West 4 we saw Hutchings lose to Prudnik. So if we follow that transitive train, maybe a match between Prudnik and Barboza doesn't make too much sense, even though on paper, if Barboza is the number 1 heavyweight in the West, it does. We can do the same thing with the number 2 guy, Ron Bath. Bath lost to Zurab, Zurab lost to Brzezinski, Brzezinski lost to Angarbayev, and Angarbayev has lost to Prudnik. Now this seems like a good time to mention that humans are not machines. You can't necessarily apply mathematical properties to humans, especially with something like arm wrestling, because there's a multitude of factors involved. Different techniques match up better against other ones. A person might be nursing an injury, or perhaps they've just upped their game in the past few months with a new training style. By the way, number 3 on the list is Matt Mask, and we already saw that match, and Prudnik took it. Okay, what if we look eastward? Tobias Barong had a very impressive performance at East vs West 5 against Matt Mask, and this is actually a screenshot from it where afterward he has the mic, points at the camera, and calls out Michael Todd. Now, would Michael Todd take that match? Almost certainly not. In a recent live, Michael said that, he had a title match shot on the books. It was going to be Michael Todd versus Prudnik for the heavyweight East versus West title. Michael Todd gets injured, Devin steps in, and to Michael's credit, yeah, I don't think he should necessarily have to climb back up the ladder just because he got injured. The question that begs is, okay, when is he going to be ready? And check out what he has to say here.
Once I release a video and Devin made it happen to pull Prudnik now, it opens up January. It opens up a legit match for me for the heavyweight world title.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but he just said he would be ready for a world title match in January, which is currently when East vs West 6 is going to be going down. We know now that Prudnik is no longer the heavyweight champion and Michael Todd does want a title shot, but Michael said he would accept a match with Prudnik because after all, that's what the matchup was going to be originally. So when you consider that this was the original match, Michael Todd can be ready in just a couple months. Prudnik is certainly hungry for another win, and frankly, I'm not sure who would even be the favorite in this match. This is what I think makes sense for Prudnik. No, it's not a title match, but both athletes stand to gain a lot of credit if they get the win, and that's one of the hallmarks of a good matchup. So there's a little look into how my mind works when it comes to matchmaking for this fellow right here. Before I sign off, as many of you know, I make arm wrestling content for the internet and real life. If you haven't yet, check out the Mod Gripper. It is a tool I created that finally makes grippers good for arm wrestling. It allows you to train that flat finger containment strength, which is what you need for shutting down top rolls. Link in the description. And that's gonna do it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you think I earned it, subscribe. I put up multiple new videos every week, and I will see you in the next one.